Okay, right. So a very good evening, guys. Can y'all let me know if y'all can hear me and see a screen? Yes, before we get started. Can hear, can see? Perfect. Right. So great. Nice to see all of you here today. Right. So today, guys, in our past paper class, now this is our regular past paper class. What I will be doing is I will be taking the first 1 hour, maybe sometimes it could even be 1.5 hours, depending on how it goes. To give you all a bit of a plan for the next 5 months, right? So I've got a lot of messages from a lot of students here and there, texting me, so how do I study? I have forgotten stuff. What do I do in the next 5 months? Right now, I am at this point. How do I get that A, right? So much of questions here and there. And I thought it was a good time to do a session like this. So I will be spending that first 1 to 1.5 hours on that plan, and then we will move to our regular past paper class. So in the past paper class, we are starting the questions from unit number 2 and 3. So today we'll most likely start with the MCQs from 2016, and we'll see how that goes. Right. So the first part of it will be the plan. So listen carefully. This plan, Lama, is for anyone doing A-level econ in English medium this August. Whether you are a part of my regular classes, whether you are part of my fast track program or not, that doesn't matter. It's a plan for all of you. I will explain how the fast track program works also, since I have got a lot of messages regarding that. But whether you are a part or not, don't worry at all. It's a proper plan for all of you on what you need to do in the next 5 months. So today is the 13th of March. Exactly in around 5 months in August. When was the date for the exam? 10th of August, was it? Yes, I'll touch a little bit about the other subjects also. Don't worry. Yes, 10th of August. So I think less than 5 months. You have, it was August, right? 10th of August for now. So less than 5 months you have for your exam. So what do you do? How do you make the best use of this next 5 months? Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's get started. Right. Tute deliveries. I know, just want to check my fast track. Anyone who got your tutes? There was a set that was sent yesterday, but most of it is actually going today, Ramai. A very few was sent yesterday. If you were very lucky enough, you would have got, but I don't think most of you all would have. Most of it was sent today. So fast track people, the tutes that were sent today, you will sometimes get it on the weekend, but weekend sometimes delivery is a bit slow. Most likely you will get it on Monday. So anyway, we don't need it by Tuesday also. If you get it, it should be enough. Our first class is on Tuesday. Right. So starting off with Lamai, the plan. So listen carefully. I might not sometimes individually answer each of your questions, because some of these questions, Lamai, will get covered on the way. So if it gets covered on the way, then at the end, I will take questions, because otherwise, Lamai, if I start answering every single question, that you can send questions, don't worry. But if it is something that I think I will be covering in the session, then I might ignore your question and I will cover it on later. Okay, so don't feel bad to send questions. If I just ignore your question, remember, I will be covering it somewhere down the line. Right. So the plan. I'll mainly focus on Lamai Econ, but I will also give you all a general plan for your other 3 subjects. Sorry, let me share my screen. Oh, why is my screen? Okay. I'm using a different Zoom account today with the extended capacity, you would have realized. Can you just reconfirm, Lama, if you all can see the screen? Yes. Can see my screen on my iPad? Perfect. Perfect. Right. Okay. So in terms of this plan, we'll start off with Lamai, what you need to get done for Econ. Now, you all know in your A-level Econ syllabus, there is how many units? There are 12 units that you need to get done. So your 200 mark paper that you get for Econ, 100 marks in paper 1, 100 marks in paper 2 is a mix of all of these 12 units. Some units, maybe you can even focus for MCQs. Some units you can focus mainly even to get the essay questions done, right? We'll talk about those also, but you need to finish off all of this. Now, by now, my overall understanding is that most of y'all in school, or maybe if you are not a part of my class, maybe in another class, you all should ideally be somewhere at around unit number 8, unit number 9. Yes, I all at least somewhere there, maybe in school or in another class that you all are doing something that. These tute covers, these were my very first tute covers for the 2020 batch. So you should be somewhere around there, right? So my theory class people, we are done with it. You should be fully okay, but others, I'm catering this for everyone. So roughly you should be somewhere around here right now in wherever that you all are learning theory from. And overall, the plan will be, Lamai, nice if your school is done with the syllabus, brilliant. Overall, the plan of whoever who is teaching you would be, Lamai, to finish off the syllabus ideally in the next 2 to 3 months. Whoever who is teaching you all should ideally finish off the syllabus in this 2 to 3 months. That is the target. So then that's okay. You don't have to be 100% okay with all the units, because if you are 100% okay, Lama, then you don't have to be here in this planning session. So with that in mind, let me start off with the plan that you have. Now, this is what you have to get done for Econ. You need to study 8 units. I'll show you all what you have to do also in the next 5 months, but all 12 units. But apart from these 12 units, you also have, Lamai, 2 other subjects. It's not just Econ, right? I am someone who totally understands that Econ is not the only subject that you all are doing, right? You have 2 more subjects, and sometimes the workload for those 2 subjects might be even more than the workload for Econ. I don't know what subjects you all are doing. Depending on the subjects you are doing, it might even be more than what you have to do for Econ. So overall, I will go through a plan for Econ. What I will do is you will be able to replicate this for your other 2 subjects as well. And then based on the messages and all of that I have got recently from y'all, I have identified that some of y'all have a lot of common problems. And so I get messages wholesale from all of you on my WhatsApp, which sometimes I get very late to reply. So a lot of common problems I keep getting. Right? One of the biggest problems that I keep getting is on time management. Right? So many of you all ask, so we have 5 months to go. With these 5 months, how do I balance all my subjects? How do I get that A? Maybe how do I get something more than an A? Right? So some of you all text me saying, sir, today only, sir, I'm starting to study. Right? How do I manage this next 5 months? Now, the good thing is, Lamai, not the good thing, actually. The thing that you all have to leave behind is what you have been doing so far. Now, what you all have been doing so far for the last roughly around 2 years, we can't change. There is nothing that we can do what you have been doing. But what you can do is focus on the next 5 months, and I'll give you all some tips on what you can do. Now, one best thing that I did, Lama, especially when I was doing A-levels in the last 6 months, I had something called a time tracker. This helped me a lot to make sure that I don't waste my time. Now, I sent a PDF version of this on your groups as well, on the 3 groups that I have sent the link. So I want you all to follow something like this. It will help you stay a lot disciplined. Now, this time tracker, Lamai, is for one entire week. So ideally, for a month, then you have to get 4 photocopies of this. If you're getting until A levels, then get around, I don't know how much. 5 months means around 20 photocopies. But maybe start off with, let's say, get 2 or 3 photocopies and start off with. So how the time tracker goes is, Lamai, some of y'all don't realize where you are losing time. Where is your time going? So that is why we have this whole concept of tracking down what you are doing during your time. So how you will do this is, Lamai, you all might have, let's say, colored pens or highlighters or whatever. You can be creative on your end. So what you will do is, Lamai, take, let's say, selected colors, right? Have a set of colors for the different things that you do. Right? Now, for example, let's say during the time that you sleep, Now, sleep is like a time that you have wasted. Take a color that you don't like for this. Psychologically, it might help as well. So whenever you sleep, you color that lamai, let's say with gray. Let's say you're starting with Monday. Now, Monday, let's say you slept from 12 midnight all the way until, let's say, around 8 in the morning. So all of this then gets colored in gray. You can use colored pens, whatever you all be creative when you all color it. I don't really mind what colors you all use, but this is just to show you where you are spending your time in. And then for different activities that you have, maybe for going to school and class, have a separate color. For studying, have a separate color. For your daily activities, bathing, eating, all of that, have another color. Maybe for the time that you waste, have another color. Right? So I have overall given here some topics as well here, saying study, school plus classes, sleep, eat and other daily activities, and wasted. And maybe if there's any other thing apart from this, you can put there as well. So your objective is right now, the point that you're doing this is to start making you feel guilty. Now, some of y'all still don't feel that. Some of y'all are always like, okay, I'll start studying tomorrow. You don't feel guilty about how much time you have wasted today. So the moment you start tracking your time, now you realize, what on earth am I doing with my life? I have 5 months left for the exam, right? I have 5 months left for the exam. And look here, I am spending. Now, let's say, for example, so you will color, right? So let's say, for example, I'll just give some colors. Let's say you slept, and let's say from around 8 to 10 in the morning, you studied. Right? This is your studying. I'll put it in green. And let's say 11 to 10 to, okay, let's say 10 to 11, you went to have a bath, 1 hour, let's say blue. Let's say you again studied from, I don't know, I'll just randomly put 11 to 12, you studied. Then, let's say you went to have lunch from 12 to 1. Let's say, you had classes from, let's say, 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Right? So somehow with whatever colors that you are assigning, what you can do is you can color it off. And then what I want to do is at the end of the day, now totally at the end of the day, before you get to sleep, total and see, or maybe next day early morning, if you sleep before the day ends, total it and see where are you allocating your time for. So let's say, for example, then according to your plan today, let's say you have studied for, let's say, 3 hours. Right? You can add the boxes there, no? For 3 hours. School and classes, let's say you went for 5 hours of school and classes. Let's say you slept for another 8 hours. That is how much? That is 16 there. Eat and daily activities, let's say you took 3 hours. That's 19. And let's say you wasted 5 hours. So your wasting time could be the time that you watch TV, the time that you just loiter around doing nothing, the time that you spend on your phone. Maybe, for example, if you're someone who is watching recordings, maybe recordings could be on the other category or whatever. You plan it accordingly. And then, now you know at the end of the day, where is your time going? Now, the objective is not just to see where your time is going. Your objective is, with time. Right now, you start off like this. Maybe the first day when you start this time tracker, your timing will be really bad. You will realize that you sleep only on, let's say, or sometimes you realize you sleep too much. You sleep for around 10 hours. You realize sometimes, you're just wasting time on your phone. So this time tracker has to be on your table, right? Right next to your table has to be there. Yes, past papers also, if you're doing, could be study time, no problem. So keep it there. And then your target is, little by little by little by little, as day and day goes on, you need to start. Now collect this. Once you all start recording, don't throw the paper. Keep the paper with you. Little by little by little by little, what you should be doing is reducing the time that you're wasting, the time that you're spending on your phone and all. Try to reduce that. Reduce the time that you are, let's say, sleeping. And I'm not saying don't sleep at all, but roughly around 6 hours of sleep is okay. Right? If you can sleep for around 6 hours, that's perfectly fine at this level. Maybe also, if you can, if you really want more sleep, maybe 6 hours of continuous sleep at night And maybe during the daytime, if you all are tired, a small 1 hour nap, I think that is okay. Instead of staying on your phone and getting distracted, 6 hours of sleep plus 1 hour during the evening, if you all are used to something like that, I think that is all right. Right? So then maybe maximum your sleep has to be 7 hours. Lesser than that is also all right. But I'm saying maximum around 7 hours. So little by little reduce that level. Maybe you will, you maybe right now you might have sleeping for 12 hours. So little by little you have to reduce that level. Now, I don't know how are you going to cut down your sleep. You need to make that plan and figure that out. And also what you should do is now figure out what is the time that you're most productive at. Now, some of y'all are productive at night, right? Some of y'all, at night is where you can study. Some of y'all are very productive in the morning. Now, I remember when I was doing A-levels, now I am good at studying in the morning. Morning hours works well for me. At night, I can't. By around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, my brain doesn't function. And, I can't really study anything new at that point. But early in the morning, I can wake up at around 4 and I can study. Now, right now, I'm not a morning person, night person, both. But I'm telling you, when I was doing A-levels, during A-levels, I was a very much a morning person. So you need to figure out which time works for you. Right? Or is it during the day that works for you? Or is it morning? Is it night? What time fits you? You need to figure that. And then what you will do is, Lamai, during the day, the most hardest part that you are planning to study, I'll show you what you need to study. Usually, Lamai, the hardest part that you are studying, put that during that time. The most difficult part, let's say, for example, okay, today, let's say you have to do this in Econ, this and this in your other two subjects. The most difficult one, the most annoying, hardest area, do it the time now that you're most productive. If you're studying like an easy area, even if you do that in a time that you're not productive, that is okay. So if you are someone who is productive early in the morning, what I will do is in my early morning study time, during that time, I will finish off the hardest tasks and finish. And then let's say I'm not that good at night. Maybe at night, if I'm studying for an hour, I'll do something easy, Lamai. So you can balance that out like that. Now, if you are not productive at night, and if you keep your hardest thing to do at night, then what happens? You end up not doing it. So you need to plan that out, Lamai. Now, I'm not sure how your class schedules are, what classes you all have, which times are you all productive. That I don't know. That's why I'm not telling you, you study at this time, sleep at this time, kill. I'm not going to tell you. Okay. You can study at whatever time that you feel productive at. And ideally, your target right now, Lamai, has to be in terms of studying time, you need to roughly allocate around 6 hours for study. Roughly, it has to be roughly at least that. 6 hours for studying means on average around 2 hours every subject. I'm not saying that you have to study all the 3 subjects every day, but I'm saying on average around 6 hours a day. That means around 2 hours per subject. So let's say today, if you allocate the entire 6 hours for Econ, maybe tomorrow you will allocate that time for something else. So that has to be the element. Okay. So ideally, for now, I'll just tell you maybe during the next 3 months at least, at the end of the week, now this is Monday to Sunday, 7 days a week, 6 hours of studying a day, 6 into 7 is how much, Lamai? At the end of the week, your total study hours have to roughly come to around 6 into 7 is 42. Roughly see, I don't think all of you all will come to 42, but roughly see, Lamai, are you at least coming to that level? Right? That has to happen, Lamai. At least are you coming to 42? So maybe let me know, for example, okay, watching recordings, if you want, Lama, you can put that under study, no problem, right? Maybe doing papers, doing questions, that could be study, right? This is fine. The study plan will come. This is just the time tracker. Okay, this is just a time tracker just to help you manage your time. And then for those who are in the fast track, now I can't check everyone's study tracker, Lama. Those who are in the fast track, one thing that I want you to do is at the end of every week, by Sunday night, I want you to send me a picture of your study time track. The colored one, I want you to send me a picture to show me how much of hours you spent studying, how much of hours you wasted, how much of hours You did that. That also has to scare you then. I need to send this to sir. I can't send a picture where I am wasting a lot of. So little by little by little by, not this Sunday, maybe from next Sunday we can start. So little by little by little by little, what you should do is increase your study time. And I'll show you something that actually motivates me is sometimes when I sit in one place, and I come to memorizing part, and don't want you all to memorize, right? So when you all are studying, right, I will have this study tracker next to me, right? This time tracker next to me. And what I will do is I will, whenever I color something, let's say the study time, use your favorite color for that, right? So let's say your favorite color is green, let's say. And if you studied from, let's say, 7 to 8, and you color that from green. Now your motivation has to be to add more green into your what? More green into your plan. Right? Anna, you add more green. So let's say you study from 7 to 8, but you feel like, no, next hour also I need to color it in green. Quickly take, let's say, 5-minute break, run to the washroom, come back into your place. Little by little by little by little, right? What happens? It will improve. So classes and school, you put it in one color. Studying, you put it in another color. Sleeping, you put in another color. Eating, your daily activities in another color, wasting the time, your phone and all of that nonsense, another color, like maybe watching recordings. If you want, you can take that as study, or maybe if you can want, you can even put it on another color. Yeah, whatever works now. If you can get a printout and do it or annotating on soft copy, that doesn't matter. But that is there to track your time. Now, when you do, yes, so travel also now, it depends on, for example, if you're traveling, for example, for classes, that also has to come under class time. Let's say your class is 2 hours, but you have 1 hour to go and 1 hour to come, then class time will be 4 hours. So then that's how you will color it. Right? So you can, now there is no hard and fast rule saying how you should color it and where you should put things. The thing here is just for you to see where are you wasting your time, and to little by little, you can't reduce this in a day. Little by little by little, in a few weeks down the line, for you to reduce your time. And that is the plan. So always want to wake up early but can't wake up. Depends. So maybe you are a night person then. Maybe you're someone who is a night person there. Right. So then is that part clear? Can you all get started with that? I have sent the PDF also on the groups. You can get maybe 4 photocopies of it, 4 printouts, and get started with that for a month. Cool. Right, so that's the tracker. And at the end of the month, you itself have to be motivated by looking at that. Now, even at the end of the week, when you see, for example, let's say you have studied for 42 hours during that week, that itself is a lot of time, right? So your target is that weekly study time to increase it. Then that will motivate you. Okay, next week, I'm going to study even more. This week, I studied for 42 hours. I will do that even more next week. So that goes on. So you can start this from the upcoming Monday. Fast track plans all starts from Monday. You can start it from Monday. Okay, now today is Friday. Saturday, Sunday, take a break. Start from Monday. And then, yes, so fast track people, every week by Sunday, you need to send it to me. Okay. You can ideally send it to my other number, not my personal number, the number I use for classes. You can send it to that. Okay. Then that's one thing, right? That is one thing that I will recommend, if you want to manage your time, so that you are not going to waste your time and do nonsense. And then, right, once you do that, another thing I also want you to do is, to get rid of this. I told you there is a color that you use for wasted kiela. One thing that a lot of y'all waste time is, you have wasted your time on your phone. That's a big place that you waste a lot of time. Now, personally, even for me, I waste a lot of time on my phone. I sometimes, when I'm stressed and when things don't work out, I'm just scrolling on Instagram. Some of y'all might be addicted to different other apps, maybe Facebook, maybe TikTok, maybe some of y'all are just looking at WhatsApp stories, right? Different things y'all are addicted at different points. So one thing that you can do is, get rid of that. It's high time that you get rid of it. If Instagram is what is addicting you, uninstall the app now. You have 5 months to go. just uninstall that. Or maybe what you can do is just log out from your account. Log out from your account. Maybe every week, if you really want to go on Instagram, have a small 15-minute window every week where you log in and see what is happening around. But make it lamai now, even in this thing, right? This book, the book on atomic habits. I don't know if you all have read that. One thing that this book also says is lamai, if you want to get rid of a bad habit, they have a lot of points. But one thing that you can do is make it difficult to do. So if Instagram is something that you're very addicted, you're always scrolling, make it difficult for you to log into Instagram. How do you make it difficult? Let's say uninstall that. Or let's say, get like a app blocker or something and put a huge password and say the password to open Instagram is do not waste time on Instagram. Right? Then at least when you type that, it clicks you. Okay, I should not be using that. So you can come up with creative methods, Lamai, how to get rid of it. But that is something I don't want you all to be doing in the next 5 months. The worst thing you can be doing is wasting time on your phone. And also what happens is, Lamai, now especially some of y'all, the moment you all wake up in the morning, you're on your phone. Yeah, does that happen? Happens to me as well, right? The moment your alarm goes off, your phone is next to you on your bed. You wake up, and then the first thing you do is you scroll WhatsApp, you scroll Instagram, and no, maybe you're watching reels on TikTok. Now, that I remember, Lama, I read something also on why that is bad. And now, the moment you wake up in the morning, Lama, that is where your brain is fresh. And every time, let's say you're scrolling TikTok, right? Or let's say even Instagram, watching reels on it. Every 5 seconds, you're watching, let's say, a new video. You're scrolling, right? Yes, that's the dopamine kind of thing. And what happens there is, Lamai, your best energy, right? Your energy that you should have been using for something else, you are simply allocating that best time to do some nonsense. So just as you wake up, try your level best not to take your phone into your hand. Yes, that reduces your attention span as well. Maybe when you wake up, Lama, I'm not saying the moment you wake up, you have to start studying. Maybe the moment you wake up, Lama, to feel a little refreshed, Taggala, maybe if you're not feeling sleepy, the first thing you do is go and have a wash. Let's say there were some questions asking, so how do I wake up? Right? Have an alarm. I remember when I was doing A levels, I don't know if any of y'all have. I have a walking alarm. Right? That alarm, only if you walk a few amount of steps, that alarm gets off. So when the alarm rings, I need to carry my phone. So I have ideally calculated, I can't have a name of that. We just search and see there are enough and more applications on this, right? See how much is the distance from your room to the washroom. If you have attached washroom, then you can this thing. I can't have the name of it. Just Google and see. Right? So what I did was, then I remember I put around 20 steps. It was very irritating. Right? In the morning when the alarm goes off. Now this was back in 2017. I'm sure there are better apps now. Right? So you have to carry your phone and walk around 20 steps. Then only the alarm gets off. And sometimes when you try to shake it, sometimes to fake the walking, I try to shake my phone a little. Then also it detects that you're shaking and the amount of steps gets increased even more. So you have to somehow walk it. There were days that I, got so fed up with it and I, in my sleep, I uninstalled the app also, but let's not go there. But, small things like that, if you really find it very hard to wake up, at least, things that will annoy you so much, get those done. And then maybe you can even have a wash, brush your teeth, all of it, morning, whatever that you want to do. Let's say you want to pray a bit, meditate a bit, whatever that you do, get that, and then get started studying. The time that you spend on your phone, try to reduce it as much as possible. Name of that, I'm not very sure. Let me just Google and see. You will be able to find. If I find it, I'll let you know. Okay, right. That's the phone side of it. Then now, once you get out of this wasting time, managing your time better, now what you need to do is, Lamai, yes, sometimes, there's a camera feature also, yes, on alarms. Then what you do is, Lamai, now you need to start making your plan, right? I'll go into how to get an A and all, we'll come into that. Now you need to make a plan, Lamai. Your plan, I would have told you all this before as well, don't make lamai very big plans. Big plans are scary. Big plans don't work. You just waste an entire day making a big plan. And then what happens? In 1 week, you realize the plan is not working anymore. Don't make big plans, make small, effective plans. So before you start your week, it may be on Sunday night, right? When you're wrapping off this week, make your plan for the upcoming week. What you do is, okay, for the upcoming week, I will, let's say, do this and this and this and this for your 3 subjects. Let's say your 3 subjects are Econ, BS, and accounting. Econ, BS, account. Now you know, Lamai, roughly how your week will look like. Let's say now you all know, now Muslims, you all know, Lamai, in the upcoming week, you have your festival. Now, you know, on the festival day, that's going to get a bit busy. Like relatives are going to come see you. You start going visiting, and all of that happens. So make a realistic plan, Lamai. Don't just put too much of things and get it done. That's not going to work. And maybe if you look, for example, okay, this week is you have term exams in school, then make a plan according to that. Don't plan for months and months. Just plan your week ahead. When you do this, Lamai, do it on Sunday night. Sunday night, before you go to sleep, right? This plan should roughly take you around 15 minutes, not much. Sunday night, before you go to sleep, what you do is you plan what you are going to do in the next week. So let's say, for example, for Econ, let's say, for example, I'll give in the fast track lemma, you have a study plan. What you will do is you will say, okay, for Econ, I'm going to do I'm going to learn, let's say, okay, unit 1. I'm going to do the past papers of unit 1 as well, something there. For business, this is what I'm going to do. For accounting, this is what I'm going to do. Let's say for IT, if you're doing, that's what you're going to do. And then what you do is, Lama, now this plan also, you can write it and keep next to your study plan or next to your table. And then every day, you pick topics, Lama, based on what you're in the mood for. So then Monday morning, when you wake up, it's you all people have moods, Nilama. There is no rule saying Monday morning when you wake up, you have to, start with Econ. That doesn't happen. So then Monday morning, or maybe even Sunday night, you can plan what you're going to do Monday. For Monday, pick a few of these topics. Maybe, for example, okay, for Econ unit number 1, I'm going to study a part of it today. Right? Maybe, okay, accounting, one part of this I'm going to do today. Right? And then in your big plan, you can make a checklist. Make a big checklist, little by little tick it. You don't have to tick things in order. Okay, Monday, okay, I'm doing this. And that is where, along while doing these things, you have to mark your time tracker as well. So whenever you're studying and finishing parts like this, if it comes under studying, then you color your study tracker. So little by little by little by little, you take and do things. And also what you can do is, instead of having big pieces, break it into smaller pieces. Now, for example, instead of saying studying unit number 1 in Econ, break unit number 1 into, let's say, 4 parts. Okay, let's say one part is PPC, one part is economic systems. So then, because when you say study unit number 1, then it becomes a little demotivating. It's huge unit, lot of things to study. So then what you do is you take a small part and somehow finish that done. And so you make the plan on Sunday night, all what you're going to do for the week, and then every day decide, okay, today from my this, I'm going to, from my plan, from my weekly plan, this is what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to do this. Little by little, I might take things from your main plan and get things done. And then, yes, you can plan it each day before also, no problem, whatever works for you. By the end of the week, your target is, Lamai, to finish all that you have planned, right? All of this that you have planned for your, let's say, 3 subjects, now you have done. And then this focus area day will also work, no problem. And then what you do, you go to the next week. Now you would have realized, Lamai, that this plan itself, you will realize, I'm doing very little this week. But eventually, when you look back at all the work you have done, Lamai, 1 month down the line, 3 months down the line, that is a lot of work. So you can be flexible, Lamai. I'm just giving you a strategy here. I am not saying you have to follow this word by word. Don't know whatever study plan that is working. Now, some of you all might have a plan that already is perfectly working. Stick to that. No problem. I'm just giving this to people who are wasting time and wondering what to do. So you make that weekly plan, decide on what you do every day, little by little, take things off. And what you do every day, Lama, can depend on your vibe also. And sometimes, for example, you're very lazy to do calculations. Then at that point, Lama, don't do accounting. Maybe if you're in a theory mood, Anna, go do some BS. If you're not in a mood of, let's say, doing theory, Anna, maybe do some calculations or study some, let's say, econ or do some practice there. And if you're not in a mood of reading and what, sitting and reading a tute, maybe do some questions, do some MCQs. Whatever that you're in the mood for, Lama, pick from that and somehow finish that off. Along with that, mark your time tracker as well. And roughly time tracker, Ramai, roughly I told you again, roughly around 6 hours a day you have to be allocating now for studying. Studying is not going for classes. Studying is not doing homework. Studying is different. Studying is not memorizing. Don't memorize. That's what you will be doing. And so maybe papers could be studying. Going through and understanding things, that is studying. Get that done. So then that is how you make a weekly plan. And then little by little, you allocate things. And then the next thing is, Lamai, this is a question that I got right now also in the chat box. Sir, I study a lot of things, but I don't remember what I have studied. Yes. Have you forgotten what you have studied for your subjects? Yes. If you have forgotten what you have studied, Lamai, you have not really studied it. What you have done is you have memorized it. That is what you have done. Now, things that you memorize in 2 weeks, people usually tend to forget whatever you memorize. Memorizing is okay. Let's say if you have your exam on Monday, Saturday you memorize, you will remember. If you have your exam in August and you memorize today, you will remember it for 2 weeks, but you won't remember that in August. So the thing there is, do not memorize. Why you don't remember? Now, a lot of people say, me, sir, I studied and I don't remember. I will revert that. You haven't studied and not remembered, Lamai. You have memorized and you don't remember. That is the point. Now, I'll tell you, I think I would have told you all this before as well. I am one of the worst person in terms of memorizing. My memory power is so bad. Like the phone numbers I have in memory is, I think I only know 2 phone numbers so far. I know my mother's phone number and I know my wife's phone number. I don't know any other phone number by heart. Birthdays, again, very few. Maybe I might know 5 people's birthdays. So you don't have to be memorizing stuff, right? My memory power is so bad that sometimes even if I watch a movie tomorrow, if someone asks me what was there on that movie, I won't remember. It doesn't click me, right? I'm like, okay, what was there in the movie? It doesn't go in. It doesn't click me like that. So then, yeah, I know my phone number. I know my phone number, my wife's and my mother's. That's all that I know in terms of phone numbers. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, if my memory power was so bad, and if I was still among the top 50 in the island in 2017, that's a point to prove you that you don't have to memorize things. And I didn't become top 50 by doing any other subject. I just did the normal 3 subjects, econ, business, and accounting. So there was no Z-score advantage, no nothing, but I was still there. Nothing by memorize. Then what do you do? So then the question is, how do I answer theory questions then? The story behind that is, Lamai, if you want to remember something, Lamai, first you need to understand something with logic. Right? Understand the logical reason behind this. Why does this happen? Right? Why is this something like this? That is what you need to understand first. Now, even for example, when I teach you all econ, what I always focus is on teaching you the logical reason. Why does this happen? This is why this is. When this happens, this will happen. When this happens, this will happen. I don't think ever in any of my econ classes, Lama, I would have made you all, let's say, these shortcuts to memorize stuff and all. I don't think I ever taught you all these acronyms, memorize these letters. This stands for this. This stands for this. I would have never done that, because those are your A-level students. Exam paper is not testing your memory power, right? You have this short acronyms. Yes, some people sing songs and figure things out also. I don't think that's the way that you need to study, right? Yes, I know there's a fun element there as well, but what you need to do is you need to lamai, you need to logically understand why these are there. Even if business studies, yes, some of you all memorize stuff, I know. But if you logically understand why are these, now, for example, let's say advantages of something, disadvantages of something, right? If that is what you're focusing on, why is this an advantage? Why are they saying that this is a disadvantage? Understand that point, Lavai. The moment you understand the point, it becomes easy for you to get it done, Lavai. You don't have to really spend time memorizing. And then what you do is, after you have understood, what you do is, Lamai, after you have understood the logic, now you write, right? You do questions. So do papers. The moment you start doing papers now, the moment you start doing paper after paper after paper after paper, automatically you will start remembering. I don't want you to memorize and just wait. What I want you to do is, Lamai, logically understand it. The first time when you're doing a paper lama, you might not remember. That's okay. First time if you're doing a paper lama, look at your tutor and write. That's fine. But the more and more and more and more and more papers you do, little by little, Amai, the flow will start coming. You will start remembering things. You don't have to memorize to remember things. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Whatever you memorize, you will forget. So don't memorize. Logically understand what's happening. If you are someone who is learning theory with me, Lama, I would have gone through the logic behind everything. Why is this? Why is this? Why is this happening? Why does this come here? Right. I don't think I would have made you all memorize any point saying, Lama, this is a short way of memorizing this, memorize it like this scalar. That would have not happened. So logically go through what you are learning, and then to remember stuff, you do papers. And what you logically learn, Lamai, you don't forget that easily. What you have put into your brain and learned, you will not forget. Now, for example, 5 years down the line, you can't forget, let's say, law of demand. You can't, let's say, for example, forget how does, let's say, monetary policy work. If you have logically learned it, it will stay in your head. But if you have memorized, let's say, monetary policy, or let's say memorized law of demand and the reasons, and 5 years down the line, if someone asks me, yes, right? I don't remember. A good example I can give you sometimes at university. At uni, I remember, since I was packed with so much of different things, last moment, I have memorized a lot of things and I have done exams. Memorizing can happen last moment. If your exam is tomorrow, day you memorize, fine, that's okay. Then you will remember it for tomorrow. I have done that enough and more times for uni exams. But now I realized I don't remember a single thing that I have learned at uni. Right? At uni for econ and all of it, we learned so much of things. I barely remember anything. Why? I've memorized it. But your econ stuff, I remember during A levels, I logically understood a lot of stuff. Now that even right now, if someone asks me a question, I can answer. I know how to teach that part because it's logically in my head. I'm not memorizing and coming and teaching. That's what you need to do as well. And one more thing you can also do is, Lavai, to see whether you have actually understood the logic, try teaching it to someone else. Now, if let's say you want to check, have you understood monetary policy? Maybe you have friends in school, friends in class, get a friend, and maybe two of you, let's say if you all are studying together, you say that, okay, tomorrow I will teach you monetary policy. When you're teaching that person, let's say monetary policy, if you are getting stuck, if you wonder why is this like this, that means you haven't understood the logic. Because if you memorize, you can never teach. To teach something, you have to understand it logical. That's one way that you can check, have you understood something logically? Teach it. Or maybe if you don't have friend, teach it to a wall. Right? Look at the wall, assume that the wall is one of your friends, and now teach it to a wall. Right? Teach it the wall saying, this is what monetary policy is. These are the objectives of monetary policy. This is what the central bank is trying to do. This is what when the standing deposit facility rate increases, this is what will happen. Logically try to teach it to someone. I don't think it's a waste of time at all. That's something that will help you remember a lot. Because I remember when I was doing A levels, I taught a lot of my friends. And that's one way that helped me remember a lot of stuff. And that's one way I also realized there are certain things that I also don't know. Because when I go to teach something to a friend, sometimes a friend asks me a question. Friend asks me, okay, why is this happening like this? Then if my answer is, nah, don't ask stupid questions, just this is how it is happening here. That means I also don't know that. But if a friend asks me, okay, why is this happening like this? I should be able to logically tell him, this is why this is happening. But if I tell him, Pandita, just listen to this video, this is how it goes here. That's the point. Yeah, right. So get that, and yes, you can use your AI tools, right? ChatGPT, Claude, all of that also, maybe if you want, for your learning purposes. So that's the part that I will recommend as well. That way, Lama, you won't forget. So understand the logic, maybe teach a friend, maybe do papers. You all will start remembering then and there. Right. Ask doubts, we'll see, we'll come to that. Okay. So then the next thing is, Lavai, one thing I also have understood is all these study plans, all these things I'm telling you are hitting different of y'all at different levels now, because all of y'all are not the same right now. Now, some of y'all, the 400 odd people here in this class, some of y'all are people who are already at, let's say, a 75 level. You know, you're getting that A, you're targeting for more. Some of y'all are now starting to study and trying to pass the exam. Some of y'all are somewhere there. Shape is somewhere you have been doing something. You're, let's say, at level of a 50 and wondering, what should I do now? I totally understand that. So whatever plan I give, it might not always be applicable for every one of you. That is why I'm going to break it down further now. If you are a bit of a student who is at a low level right now, I'm not trying to put you down level, I'm trying to give you a specific plan. If you are someone at, let's say, a 50 or at least 75, then the plan for you will be different. You can't have the same plan as someone who is targeting the person who is trying to pass the exam. I'm not going to give you a plan to get a 90-95. Someone who is just starting to study, I'll give you a plan first. Try to come to around 40-50. After you come to that level, then we'll see what we can do. Because for a person at the 0 level, if I give you a plan saying, come here, let's do 90-95, doesn't make sense at all. Right? So that is where I'll come into this. So because different people are at different levels now, you need to first figure out which level are you in. To figure out which level are you in, you don't have to always, exam will definitely show you which level you are in. But even if you haven't done an exam now, you roughly know where you are. Right? You should not underestimate your level and you should not overestimate your level. And that is why, remember, you all had a question in the fast track registration form. I asked you, which level are you in? Are you above 75? Are you above 90? Are you at 0 to 35 or less than 35? Remember, that question was there for you to even start thinking, where are you right now? Because if you don't know where you are right now, Lama, you can't get things done as well. So if you are, right, if you are someone, Lama, at, let's say, the lower end right now, let's say you are at a level lesser than 35, your target is, Lama, not to all of a sudden get to a 90. It doesn't work like that. If you're at a level less than 35, your first target is, okay, bring this to around a 50. Let's say in a month or two, see what you can do. Bring that to around a 50 first. That is your first target. And then once you are okay with that, right? Once you're okay with that, now your target is, okay, let me try to bring this to around, let's say, a 65. Bring that to, let's say, a 75. If you have the 75 level, get that to a 90. The question there is, how fast can you do that? Is 5 months enough for me to do this? So personally, my belief right now, okay, I'll give you my honest opinion with how students have done before as well, past experience. Right now, something that I strongly believe is, if you are someone at a level of, let's say, 30, 40, 50, if you're somewhere at that level, the 30 to 50 level, I feel if you properly work in this next 4 months, you can increase another 40 marks to wherever you are right now. But you need to work. There is work that you need to require. So I'm saying someone who is at a 50, if you properly work in the next 5 months, you can at least come to a 90. That's what I'm saying. If you're at, let's say, a 30 right now, that is where your exam is. That means you can come to around, let's say, a 70. I'm not saying exactly 40, 11, it can vary, but that's a rough estimate that I'm telling you. For all those who are asking me, sir, is it enough time for me to get an A? See where you are. Then for someone who is at let's say already at, let's say around a 70, I feel Lamai, with this, another 25 is definitely possible. You can get to that 95 levels, you can get there. That's my average estimate. For someone who is at a 0 level right now, if today you're listening to me and you're like, this is Econ, who is this fellow, right? If that is what it is, I feel you should still be able to get at least another 40 to 50 marks in this next 5 months. That is my genuine prediction. I'm not saying a person who is 0 will get an A. I feel that's a little hard, but I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying on average, person who is 0 can get at least to around a 50 in this point, right? That is what I'm saying. Then a person who is at, let's say, 30 to 50, you should be able to push that to A. Person who is at least around a 60, I think you can go to the 90. That is possible. So then let me give you a plan based on your level. Okay, you need to start believing in yourself. Then now, for someone who is a bit weak, right? Again, I'm telling this, I'm not trying to put you down. I want all of you all to do well, but let me give you a plan specifically. If you are a bit weak, let's say you are right now at a level of, I will say less than 40 marks. Let's say this is where you are, right? On average, you are someone who is less than 40 marks right now at a level of, let's say, F. In terms of econ, I can't comment on this Lamai on other subjects because I'm not very sure what are the main units and all of it. I can't say that. But in terms of econ, what I will recommend you is if you're someone at a level less than 40 marks, you will first study unit 1, 2, and 3. That has to be your first target. Unit 1, 2, 3 Lamai are the easiest 3 units in your syllabus. Okay. From unit 1, 2, 3, in your A-level paper, you get Lamai roughly around, if I'm not mistaken, around 15 MCQs, maybe a little less than this, right? But I'll round it off for easy purposes. And you get Lamai 3 essay questions from unit 1, 2, and 3. So that in total is 90 marks out of your 200 mark A-level paper. Out of your 200 mark A-level paper, you get roughly around 90 marks from 1, 2, and 3. Those are the easiest units. Even someone starting to study, you always start from that. So my first target for you is, if you are someone less than 40, is to Lamai master 1, 2, and 3. Now, when I say master 1, 2, and 3, Lamai, that is not memorizing that unit. And so how do you pick a unit and how do you master that unit? So what you will first do is, Lamai, start with, let's say, unit number 1. Right? For someone who is weak, start with unit number 1. You might have, let's say, a theory tute, maybe some recordings, whatever, right? Whatever that you have, just quickly go through Lamai. Don't worry about memorizing it and all of it. If you're watching a recording, quickly watch it and finish it. So take maybe, let's say, maximum 2 to 3 days to quickly go through that unit. Memorizing, no need. Don't memorize, don't do, just go through, just roughly, logically understand, this is what it is, unit 1, PPC, mehema tamai, market economy, this is the story, okay, economic good, non-economic goods, this is what, 2, 3 days, go through that. Once you're done with that, Lamai, now start with the past papers. So what you will do is, start with the past papers from 2011. 2011, I always tell you all this, Lamai, start with the unit 1 MCQs. I'll send you all the unit-wise past papers, Lamai, on the past paper class group. I will send you that. So then what you do is, Lamai, start with the unit 1 past paper questions from 2011. Right? The past paper, I will send you all the questions. Answers also, Lamai, if you are there in your past paper book. If not, I will send you all the marking scheme PDFs also. After the class, I will send you all. Do the unit 1 past papers from 2011. Do the MCQs only. I think there is around 9 MCQs in the 2011 paper. Do that 9 Lamai and then mark it and see where you are going right, where you are going wrong. So the ones that you're getting wrong, now correct it. Maybe Lamai, from the 9 MCQs that is in the 2011 paper, maybe you only got 3 MCQs correct. 6 MCQs are wrong. So now figure out why are you wrong. Now those past papers Lamai from 2011 is there on my YouTube channel also. So if you can't figure it out on your own, look at the tutor and at least see why are you wrong. If you can't figure it out on your own, at least go to my YouTube channel. My recording is there. Everything is there for you. So figure out why are you wrong? Okay, why is this answer wrong? Why is not this? Why did I put this? What happened here? And that should happen, let's say within 10-15 minutes. You can't take Monday to do the 2011 MCQs. Now you correct your mistake, right? Now you figured out, right? Okay, this is first 2-3 days you went through the unit, you learned the unit. Now you start with the questions. Unit number 1. Don't focus on everything at once. The biggest mistake a lot of people you all do is I will finish everything and then I will do papers. Won't work. Right? Study a small part, do the questions for that. Then what you do is now move to 2012 MCQs. 2012 A level unit 1 MCQs. There must be around 5 or 6 MCQs there. Then do that same strategy. Mark it, see where you are going wrong, figure it out, correct it, move 2030. Little by little by little by little by little, you come all the way until 2025. By the time you come, now you have to do this, then only you all will realize that what I'm saying is true. Otherwise, you're just looking at my face right now. If you do this, little by little, you correct your mistakes, go to the next, correct your mistakes, go to the next, correct your mistakes, go to the next. Then little by little, by the time you come to 2025 paper, you realize you know a lot of things. You have corrected so many mistakes. Now you realize, because if you take at the end of the day, unit number 1 is a unit. Now, where else is the examiner going to test, You're doing past papers from 2011 to 25, 15 years of past papers. So almost everything that the examiner can test, they have tested. So whenever you make a mistake, you correct it, you learn it, you move the next. You will realize by the time you come to around 2019 even, you will see, same thing is repeated. Now I know this part. Then by the time you come to 2025 paper, what you do? You are kind of really good with the unit 1 MCQs now. Being good with MCQs means now you logically know how to handle the unit. You logically understand, this is what the unit is about. Now, once you have logically understood the unit, now you move into essay writing. Now you move into the essay questions from unit number 1. Again, start with the 2011 unit 1 essay question. The first essay question that you're writing, now you haven't memorized the unit. First essay question that you're writing, you might not be able to write alone because you can't remember definitions. You can't, that's okay. Right? The first essay question you're writing, now look at your tutor and write. Don't copy from the marking scheme. Read the question, understand the question on your end. Look at the tutor and write. Now that is why now we are doing a past paper class as well. So look at the tutor, right? Learn that question then. After that, you move into what? You move into 2012 now. 2012 A-level essay questions. So same strategy that you did for MCQs. You do a question, learn from it, move to the next. Initially, you will look at the tutor and write. That's fine because that is because you haven't memorized. I don't want you to memorize. But when you write, you will start remembering. And once that same question comes again and again, by the time you come to the 2019, 2020 paper, your flow has improved. You have got a lot better. You will realize that. So all of this that I'm telling you, has to happen within 1 week. You can't take 1 month to do this. In 1 week, you will master unit number. If you do this 2 to 3 days initially to study the unit, then the MCQs, essay questions in order like I'm doing. All the questions are there on my YouTube channel. I've told you all, it's not a monetized YouTube channel. I don't get paid a single cent just because you watch my YouTube videos. Go, watch, do whatever you want. It's completely free for you. So in 1 week, you master unit number 1. Then when you master unit number 1, now unit number 1 in your A-level paper gives you 28 marks. So now you have the confidence that, okay, out of the 200 mark paper, right? Out of the 200 mark paper, I am confident. I am ready now for 28 marks. It might not be a lot of marks. That's okay. Now 28 out of 200 mark paper, I can do. Right? MCQs, essay questions, I can handle. Right? 4 MCQs, 1 essay question. That's how the 28 marks come. Then same strategy. Next week, you go to unit number 2. Then once you're done with unit number 2, same strategy, right? First 2-3 days to study the unit, then the MCQs, then the essay questions, right? And you're done. And after that, then by the end of week number 2, let's say unit number 2 has again another 28 marks, around 4 MCQs, and let's say 4 to 5 MCQs, let's say 30 marks. Now, by the end of week 2, you're now ready for 58 marks out of your 200 mark paper. Now that will give you confidence. You're someone who is struggling at the 40s. Now you know, right, okay, now I'm somewhere there. Then you learn unit number 3, same strategy. And then once 1, 2, and 3 is done, Lamai, I will then recommend you move to unit number 7 and 8. Keep 4, 5, 6 for a while. Okay. So unit number 7 and 8, Lamai, if you know, in your essay paper, subsection B, you get 2 questions. Subsection B, you have, Lamai, question number 6 is from unit 7. Question number 7 is from unit 8. So you all know, Lamai, in the A-level paper, you have to do minimum 2 questions from each subsection. Usually what a student does is, from the first 6 units, first 5 questions, they do 3. And from the next 5 questions, they do 2. That's how usually people do. You can switch around, but I'm just saying for a weak person, usually it's going to be 3 and 2. So you then focus on 7 and 8. Same strategy like I told you, Lamai. 1 week for you to master the unit. And then once you're done with unit 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, you're okay with, Lamai, 144 marks out of the 200 mark paper. These 5 units gives you, Lamai, 144 marks. 144 out of 200 means 72 out of 100. So for someone who is a bit weak, in let's say 1.5 months, let's say 5 weeks, let's say you take 1 week extra. If you properly do this, Lamai, stick to a proper plan, little by little you do it. In 1.5 months, you will be thorough with, Lamai, 144 out of 200 marks. You're no longer a person who is at the 40s anymore. You're someone who can go even more. Then, once those 5 are done, now those are your essay questions, Lamai. Once that is done, the next thing I will recommend is quickly to learn. My next priority is unit number 11 and 12. 11 and 12, Lamai, is the 2 easiest units to score MCQs. Theory revision people, did you all do the past papers? You all were supposed to finish it this week. Do you all find that easy, manageable? Yes. Not that hard, right? You realize that the questions are very direct. There will be 1 or 2 that's a little tricky, but broadly it's very direct, right? So once you learn unit number 11 and 12, Lamai, 11 and 12, now, if you have my theory class recordings, I taught it in a way just to do the MCQs. And the whole theory class recordings of 11 and 12 is also only around 6 hours or 6.5 hours. Then in 6.5 hours, you can Taggala learn the unit and you can work on the MCQs only. Now, you don't have to do the essay questions now. Now, what you do is you do the MCQs. So 2011 MCQs from unit number 11 and 12. Do it, correct it, see where you go wrong, learn from it. 2012. The reason is, Lamai, 11 and 12 gives you 16 marks in the MCQ paper. 8 MCQs. So if you learn 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, that's 144 marks. Within 2 days, you can learn 11 and 12. Please don't ignore, Lamai, unit 11 and 12. So many students make that mistake. Unit 11 and 12, Lamai, is a unit that you can quickly study and you can get 8 MCQs from that unit. And 8 very direct, very easy MCQs, Lamai. But what happens? Schools do it at the last moment. Classes do it at the last moment. Then what students do is they completely ignore that. 11 and 12, leave it for paper 2. You don't have to do it for paper 2. Focus only on for MCQs. So then 144 plus 16 questions from 16 marks from 11 and 12 means you're now prepared for how many marks? Out of the 200 mark paper, you're now ready for 160 marks. 160 marks out of the 200 mark paper, you're now ready. So 80 out of 100 now. You're at a level of, if you properly do all these questions, you get 80. You're no longer at the 40 anymore. Okay. Now, all of this, I think, Lamai, can happen in around 2 months. Unit 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. And also 11 and 12, Lamai, even in 3 days, you can finish 11 and 12. It's not at all hard. Learn the unit, do the MCQs. And then once that is done, right, depending on how long you all take, after that, Lamai, the other unit, these for a plan for a bit of weaker students, right? After that, the other units. Now, unit number, the ones that I've highlighted in gray, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. I'll just put it over here. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. After you're done with all of this, now you're done with all of this, that means you're ready for 80 out of the 100 marks, in your paper. I don't think you will get all 80 out of 80. You have to be realistic, but you're ready for 80 marks. After that, quickly learn the other units, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, just to do the MCQs. You don't have to go into detail and practice essay writing. Oh, no, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, simply get a broad idea of the unit, keep on practicing MCQs. When you do that, then in a few months, now you are ready for 200 out of 200 marks. You're not a person who will fail the exam anymore now. Is that clear, Lamai? Can you all start? I'm just giving you the big overall plan, but you need to break it down slowly, nicely, and get started. So I'm showing you, Lamai, even if you are a weak student, some people ask me, sir, can I get that A? You can get that A, Lamai. Right? So, yeah. Now, for example, Lamai, essay questions, if you don't want to do unit number 3, instead of 3, Lamai, do unit number 4. So you can either do 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 or 1, 2, 4, 7, 8. That is also fine. A lot of questions are coming from demand supply. Demand supply is unit number 2. So unit number 2, I didn't tell you to leave it. Clear? Right. 5 and 6, you get a combined essay question. 4 is also okay, Lama. You can either do 3 or 4, whatever works for you. I told 3 because 2 and 3 are connected. Because if you know 2 well, 3 is very easy. But if you are bad at unit number 3, these calculations, leave 3, do 4. You can play around with the plan, Lama. I'm not saying you have to do exactly what I am saying. I am just showing you a realistic way how you can get that A, how you can get this. Don't worry about memorizing definitions, Lamai. Understand the story, right answers you will get. Because sometimes you will realize, Lamai, so much of things that you're spending so much of time trying to memorize doesn't even come in your A-level paper. That's what I'm telling you, don't memorize, Lamai. Spend 2 to 3 days quickly to skim through the unit, then do the papers. When you do the papers, you realize, okay, what is important. Because otherwise, Lama, you're doing complete nonsense. You waste time memorizing some complete unnecessary, let's say, definition, which never gets questioned in the paper. So you do this, do the papers. When you do the papers, you realize, okay, what is the exam you're testing? Right? What is the thing that makes sense? Right? So that's what I will recommend that. Right. Then instead of 7, you can't do only 10, then you do 9 and 10 both. Because 9 and 10 both only gives you question number 8. So if you're not doing unit number 7, that is question 6 in the A-level paper, essay question, then you have to prepare for question number 8. 8 comes from 9 and 10 both. So you can work around Lamai mend it, but that's the point. Cool? Right. Then now some of you all Lamai, I'll just give you an option. This is not me trying to sell off my recordings, but this is something that has helped a lot of people. For those who are weak, if you don't have a proper note for the unit, if you don't have a proper guidance for that unit, something to learn, what you can do is you can get hold of my theory classes, recordings and tunes. So theory class recordings and tunes are available. You can purchase the entire syllabus, purchase whatever units you like, whatever you want, you can get. Per unit on average has around, I would say around 15 hours of recordings. On average, the first few units, I think, might be a little long because that is where we start A levels. No? So we go slowly. But the units will get low. So for those who have no way of learning, right, you have missed these in whatever classes you go because, and also my individual classes are expensive. So this is the fastest and the cheapest way you will have to cover any unit that you want. So there are enough and more students doing this. There are, last year, there was more than 1,000 students who actually have purchased my recordings and tunes and covered units. These are also students who are going to these other big physical classes, right? Physical classes. I don't take the credit for these also. Right? All these, big tuition classes, I'm not going to name any of these people, but all those students going for all these big classes, they still cover the theory by learning and getting the recordings from me. Right? They don't tell me the results. I don't put those out as well. But that is the reality. So there are more than 1,000 students who have done that. And even in your batch right now, in this last 2-3 months, I don't market this big as well, but even this last 2-3 months, so many people have purchased. Roughly at least around 600 odd people are so far covering recordings units through the recordings. So it works. That's why there are so much of people. I don't market it though. I have not put boosted ads or anything, but people search and come behind because it works. So the pricing, Lamai, it differs. So roughly, I'll tell you how the pricing is. If you're getting any one unit, it's given at 2,500. That is the complete main theory tute plus all the recordings for the unit. Recordings you can watch unlimited times until A levels. As long as you use 2 devices, same location, you can watch. It's just that you can't share it around with people, then it gets blocked. Otherwise, 2 devices, same location, you can watch any amount of times. If you're getting any 3 units, it's given at 6,000. If you're getting any 6 units, so any 6, maybe if you're getting unit number 1 to 6, the grade 12 syllabus, or unit number 7 to 12, the grade 13 syllabus, that is given at 9,500. If you're getting all the units, all 12, the entire level economics syllabus, it's given at 15. So entire level syllabus, that is 2 years of work. 15,000 might look a lot, but 2 years of work is still a lot of work, right? So that's just the option. If you don't have a way, if you don't have a note, if you don't have an explanation to learn that unit, this can be a possible option. And roughly per unit has around 15 hours. So maybe if you allocate around 3 hours a day, in around 5 days, you can finish. The first few minutes might take a little bit longer, but other days, things you can do this. After A-levels, what are the recording? After A-levels, I would like if you're watching my recording, but after A-levels, you won't need me. Once A-levels is done, my recordings will be deleted. But until A-levels, it will be there, right? Some accounts do get blocked when it gets shared, but otherwise, most of y'all, it will be there. Price is with the tute. So printed tute will be sent to your doorstep. Courier charge, there is a 360 that you have to pay and collect. Okay, that's if you don't have a way of covering theory. Right. Then the next one, now that is for students, 11 and 12 is combined. For students who are below the 40 kind of level is what plan that I gave you all before. Right. Now, what about students, let's say, who are above 40 or above 50 right now? What about y'all? What do y'all do? Let's say you're someone who is at least at around the 50 level right now. Now, what do you do in the next this, right? Yes, for those who paid for theory, that it might not be this thing, but also recordings don't come up with all the other stuff, all the past paper tables, other stuff and all doesn't come. Just the recording is what you will get, right? So if you're above 50, I personally believe, Lamai, you can get to that 90. And this is where I feel something like the fast track program that I'm doing will help a lot. Whether you're a part of it or not, that doesn't matter, but I'll roughly go through, Lamai, what I will be going through in the fast track sessions in the next 5 months. Even if you're not in the fast track program, you can follow a similar plan that will help you a lot. So here in the fast track program, Lamai, now if you're at a level of, let's say, 50, 60, you kind of know your basics. Your basics you have covered. So now it's about revising that basics, pushing that to that 90. How do you go from 50 to 90, or let's say 70 to 95 maybe in this next 5 months? So that is where the fast track program comes into play. I'll go through the fast track program. I'm repeating again. Even if you're not a part of it, Lamai, you can follow a similar plan. Right. So fast track program is a 5-month thing. Main target is to push you to that 95 kind of mark. So how the fast track program works is, Lamai, we have 3 classes a week. And what I will do here is every week, my plan is, Lamai, to focus on one unit, the first 3 months actually. So every week we have 3 classes. And then, so here I have the class schedule. I'll come to that. So the classes, Lamai, are Tuesday 7 to 10, Thursday 7 to 10, and Sunday, a night class that we have. All these classes, Lamai, will be recorded, put on the website. So even if it clashes with any of your classes, no problem at all. You can watch the recording, you can catch it up. Within 24 hours, recording is available. Unlimited times, you can watch until A-levels. So how it will work is, Lamai, every week, let's say, now I'll explain what we will be doing in the upcoming week. That is starting from Monday, we are starting the fast track now. So on Monday, right? Monday is where we are starting. Right? So Monday, you don't have a class, but there is a part in the study plan. I'll show you that. What you will do is, Lamai, on Tuesday, you have a class. So next week, my focus will be on unit number 1. So on Tuesday, what I will be doing is, Lamai, I will give you all a 3-hour summary of the entire unit. So entire unit number 1, I will summarize, Lamai, in 3 hours. What about theory classes? Theory classes overlap. I finish the syllabus. So in 3 hours, the entire unit I will summarize. Now, why I did not recommend this for those who are below 40, Lamai? In 3, if you don't know the basics of unit number 1, that 3-hour summary will be too fast for you, Lamai. Because you all know in the theory class, Lamai, to teach unit number 1, I would have taken, let's say, around 10 classes. So what I taught in 10 classes, I'm summarizing in 3 hours. So then that is going to be, Lama, I am not going into these Baba type explanations. No. The 3-hour explanation, Lama, will be a summarized version. The summarized version will be on the most toughest areas, most frequently tested areas. That is what we will recap in this 3 hours. But you will get an entire note as well. And give me a second, hold on. Okay. So then in this 3 hours, we will do that. And then what you will do is, Lamai, on the Thursday class. On the Thursday class is we do, Lamai, a 3-hour paper. So you have to do the paper before and come. Right? Once you do the paper, in this Thursday's class, we will discuss that paper. That paper will be a little bit usually hard, not very hard, Lamai, but it's going to focus on a bit more hard areas, right? That is what I will do. And we will discuss the paper. That paper you all will submit before the class. Paper from unit number 1, only unit number 1, 100-mark paper from unit number 1. So then I will mark that and give within a week. Thursday night, we will discuss that. And then Sunday night, Lamai, this class is your specific doubt clearing class. This class, Lamai, I am not going to teach you any unit. I'm not going to teach you anything newly. You're going to come and clear all the doubts you have from unit number 1. Those are how the 3 classes work. The summarized version of it, unit, the paper, the doubt clear. But then that is not the only thing that you have to do. So what you have to do is, I'll just show you how your weekly plan will go. Right? This is how your weekly plan for next week will go. So fast track people, keep this in mind very well. Others also, you can follow a similar plan line. Now, in the flyer, why did I say that we are starting fast track classes on the 16th when my first class is on the 17th, which is Tuesday? Is because, Lama, your plan starts from 16th. So what do you do on Monday? On Monday, what I want you to do is take around 2 hours. Okay. You follow the same plan. It will repeat for the other weeks. So week 1 is unit number 1. This is your unit number 1 plan now for those who are above 50. On Monday, you take around 2 to 3 hours. Right? 2 hours should be enough now. Right? Maybe 3 hours also if you want to. Go through unit number 1. Now you have a theory note, school note, revision note, whatever note you have, right? What you will do is, Lamai, you will go through unit number 1. Once you are done with that, when I say go through, Lamai, I don't want you to memorize again. I want you to read the tute, read that. This plan will be there, Lamai. You all will get the plan. Don't worry. So once you do that, then you tick this box off. Then remember, Tuesday is where we have our class. Tuesday night we have a class. Tuesday night's class, what do I do, Lamai? What will I be doing this Tuesday night? I explained that 5 minutes ago. What do? I give you the summary. I give you the 3-hour summary of unit number 1. But before the summary, Lamai, what do? You read the whatever theory tune, plus you allocate, Lamai, in the fast track book. I have given you, Lamai, a summarized note. The entire unit I have summarized to around, let's say, 10-12 pages. So that will take roughly around half an hour only to read. But let's say we will take 1 hour. Take 1 hour and read the summarized fast track note and come. You have Monday, you read the complete note that you have. Tuesday, you read the summarized note and you come to class. Then Tuesday, I will summarize the entire unit. Then What do you do after that? So once that is done, you now on Wednesday, what you do is, Lamai, you do the unit 1 past papers. Now, I know some of y'all have, yes, before the class, you read and come, Lamai. Now, on Wednesday, now, some of y'all, Lamai, have already done the past papers. So that will make your workload easy. If you have already done the past papers, Lamai, then you don't have to do all of it again. Now, Mehmai, now, how many times do you have to do the past papers? There is no answer for that, Lamai. But you have to do the past papers until there is nothing new that you can learn from that paper. That is how you will do. Now, let's say you do a question and now you perfectly understood that question. You know, if that question comes again in your LL paper, you will get that 100% correct. Then, Lama, you don't have to do that question again. Now, for example, let's say in unit 1, there is a MCQ. There is a MCQ that says, which of the following is a microeconomic state? Now, you know what is microeconomics. You got that question right. Now, that past paper question, you don't have to do it 5 times. That's a waste of time. So you do past papers until, right? Until you can't get it right. Average, I say do it around 2-3 times. That's the average, I will say. By the time you do it around 2-3 times, then you are done, fed up of it. But if you're very smart, some easy questions, even once if you've done, that is enough. So then you do the past paper MCQs from 2016 to 25, unit number 1. How do you do it? The strategy I told you all before. Year by year. Start with 2016, do the MCQs, correct it, see where you go wrong, move to 17. Now, some of you all have done that in the past paper class. So then, you don't have to do it all over again. Right? You don't have to do it all over again. Maybe just go through those questions again. Maybe if you have not done it, then do it. Right? Whatever way, whatever works for you. So if you've already done it, then that reduces your workload. So this would roughly take you another 2 hours of work. So I am allocating roughly 2 hours per day. That's my target. And then on Thursday is where we have our second class. Thursday's class, what do I do? What do I do on Thursday night's class? Thursday night's class, we discuss the paper. Now, you don't write the paper during class. Paper is discussed during class. So then discussion happens on Thursday night, but you need to do the paper before that. So usually your deadline will be by 6 p.m. You have to submit answers. Those all instructions I will send later, not today. You will submit your answers by 6 p.m. I will mark that paper and give within a week. So every week your paper I will mark and give. And then it's a 100-mark paper that will take you roughly around 2.5 hours to do. 2 to 2.5 hours, you can do that. Right? So you do the fast track paper and then you come for the discussion. Yeah, the paper will take you roughly around 2 to 2.5 hours. After that, Thursday class is also done. Then what do you do, Lamai? Friday and Saturday, you do the past papers. Essay questions, 2016 to 2020 on Friday. That is 5 years of essay questions. Will take you around 2 to 2.5 hours. Saturday, you do 2021 to 25. You do those essay questions. And then from Monday to Saturday, now what have you done? You have, Lamai, done everything with unit number 1. If you want, Lamai, you can do 2011 to 15 if you have time. Right? But otherwise, it's okay. Right? Monday to Saturday, now you have learned the unit, come for the discussion, done the past papers, done the past track paper. You have done everything. Then, even after all of that, if you still have some doubts from unit number 1, so this part I don't understand. So this part, what is this about? So how do you do this question? That is where the Sunday night class comes in. Sunday night, what do? You clear all your doubts. Sunday night is your doubt clearing session. Any doubts that you come and clear on Sunday. If you don't have doubts, then don't come for that class. That's up to you. Right. If you have doubts, you come and clear. If you want to listen to other people's doubts, you can come and listen because sometimes you might learn from that also. But otherwise, don't come. That's all right. I don't want you to come and waste your time. But the objective is, Lamai, by Sunday night, you can't have doubts from unit number 1. Is that clear? After doing all of that, I'm giving you an option to clear all your doubts also on Sunday night. Sunday night, when you go to sleep, you should be thorough with unit number 1. You can't have anything that you don't know. Is that clear? That's how your plan is made. So whether you don't come to fast track also, that doesn't matter. Make a plan adjusted to that. If you have done the past papers properly, maybe don't have to do it all over again. Just skim through that level. That's up to you. Right? I'll show you how to do the doubt clearing. All that I'll explain later, but that's the thing. So then next week, you go into unit number 2. That's how the week goes. So this entire week is unit number 1. Fast track paper is not MCQs, it's MCQs and essay questions. You go to week 1. Now, all of this is there in this fast track book, right? You all will get this book. So it is a 148-page book. I know those who got it, I felt it looked nice, printed very well. So it's a book that has around 148 pages. So all what you have to do for month 1 is included in this. So this has 4 weeks worth of work. The fast track paper, the study plan that I'm sharing in the screen, all of that is available. You will get it by, let's say, around Monday, most likely. Most of the tunes went out today only. Lucky people, you all will get it on the weekend. Some branches don't work on the weekends. By Monday, you will get. So along with that, yes, you get the fast track recordings as well. You will get this study plan. Right? I'll go through this study plan as well. This study plan has all what you have to do for the next 5 months. The study plan is like a checklist. In the next 5 months, if you can tick all of those boxes, that's it. There's nothing else that you are doing. Your objective has to be for Econ, in the next 5 months, all these boxes that I have given, I'll just skim through the study plan. You have to get all of that. So the printed one you will get the fast track book plus the study plan. Study plan is not for every month. It's just 1 month that you will get. You will get the whole thing, right? So that is that. In the class also, in the fast track book first page, I have given your class schedule, but I hope the class schedule is clear now, So week 1, you have classes on Tuesday, 7 to 10, Thursday, 7 to 10. Doubt clearing is Sunday, 8:30 until midnight. How much ever doubts you have, you clear. I will stay and I will clear it with you. So I just put 8:30 to 10, but it doesn't have to finish until 10. How much ever doubts you have, you come and clear. Even if it goes until 12 in the midnight, I will clear it for you. That is how that will go. So week 1 is unit 1. We repeat that week 2, week 3, week 4. Then month 1 is done. Then month 2. Month 2 will go from here. So month 1 will focus on Lama unit 1 to 4. Month 2 is on 5 to 8. Month 3 is 9 to 12. And plus all the current context will also be covered in month 3, especially now the war that is happening, everything, right? The current situation, all of that we will learn Lama in month 3, because 11 and 12 I'll only take 1 week. No? So then there is 1 extra week, then that extra week will be current context. So all of that will be covered there. And then month 4 and 5 Lama will be mock exams, complete papers. That's the story. Yeah. For students below 50, can you join this? You can join Lamai, but I'm telling you, for you to join, you need to have a basic idea. I don't want to just increase the number of students on my end. Month 2 April, it might not be exactly April. So month 2 will start. I'll let you know the date. Here, so here the dates are there. So this is how the months go. Month 1, month 2, month 3, I have given the dates from when to when. Month 1 is April 16th, March 16th to April 12th. Month 2 is April 13th to May 10th. And again, all what I will be doing in the next 5 months, it's properly detailed. Even if you ask me, sir, this week, what are we doing? 5 months down the line, I can tell you this week, we are going to do this. So there is a proper, clear plan on what and what you have to do. So all of that is detailed out. You need to get that done. Apart from this, yes, we will have some seminars and MCQ program, those will happen. But this is the main program that will go around. So overall, what do you get? The 12 classes, recordings, yes. Theory note, you will get a summarized note in the fast track book. So this fast track book has a summarized note that has to be done, right? All the summarized versions will be there. And then one more thing. So this is a program that helped most of the students. Yes, the island 2nd, 5th, and 9th were all a part of this last year. And anyone Lamai on my end, if I report someone as an island rank in my class, are students of mine who have come to all my classes. So all these 3 people, 5th is my sister. Island 2nd, 5th, 9th, All of these people are people who came for 2 years for my theory class, my revision class, my fast track class, my seminars, my mock exam series. They came for everything. I don't report someone as an island rank in any of my flyer. If they only came for, let's say a seminar. If a student only comes for my seminar, I can't take credit for that. Right. So you go to another class and you come for my seminar. That is not my island rank. Other teachers might do it. I don't do that. Only people who have at least minimum come for at least 1 year of my classes, or at least for my 5-month fast track program, I will report. But these 3 people came for all 2.5 years. But that doesn't mean you have to come for 2.5 years. But I'm saying the plan works. The fast track program has worked. All of this have done Lamai. So if you are at a level of below 50 Lamai, you can still be a part of the fast track, but you have to still get the work done. If you can get the work done, you still can get this done. Okay. Then the biggest advice I will give you is don't join the fast track if you are not ready to do the work. No, my sister is not here in the room. So if you don't get the work done, if you're not ready, I told you what are the works that you need to do. No? If you're ready to do that work, so that work, yes, I need to charge my son. It takes around 2 hours per day. If you can't do that 2 hours, then don't join the fast track. Is it only if you study summarized on the fast track? That might be not enough if you want a 90. It's this thing, right? So if you can allocate that and get the work done, that 2 hours per day is also with the fact that you are do all the past papers. But if you have done the past papers, then even lesser time than that is completely fine. The good news or the bad news is that fast track registration slots are almost full. It will get allocated on first come, first serve basis. I have shared a lot of flyers reminding you all. So far, there is around 400 plus people who have registered. There is roughly around another 50 slots left. By Monday, I will close registrations. By Monday night, whoever who comes. If you don't come, you don't come. Registrations will be closed by around Monday. So if you are registering, you have to register within this next couple of days. There is 50 slots left. Most of them have been added to the group. Some of them have not been added yet. I don't want a lot of numbers also because personally for me, Lama, it's not easy because I have to mark all your papers. I track everyone now. They're submitting answers, what is happening. Then I have to text the person and see what are you doing, right? So it takes time. So I will keep it at that. I was planning to keep it at 400. Already my existing people, there are 400. I decided I'll take, let's say, 50 new people, keep it at, let's say, around 450. That's the ideal level I have in mind. So I will close registrations once the slots are over. It's your decision to make. If you want to join, you can. I will guide you in the next few months. So the last message I will end with is that believe you can, and you're halfway there. I think with this session, even those who are at a level of below 40, I gave you a plan that itself would have motivated you to believe, yes, I can get this done. And that means you're already halfway there. Now, you know how to get it. You know how to get that done. Within that next few months, work hard, you will get that, right? So with that, the planning session took a little bit extra time because I didn't want to rush it. With that, I will end off the planning session, but I just wanted to check with you. Are you all too tired to do the past papers? If you want, we can start the past papers next week also. If not, we can start. Past paper class goes until 10:30. I can start 2 and 3 after giving you all a small break. We'll see, right? I will see the this one. Right. So majority on the chat is on next week. Okay, one more thing. Sorry, I couldn't go through this. No, sorry, give me a second. The study plan. Now, fast track people, you all will get this study plan. For those who are not on the fast track, Lamai, I will not be sending you all this. The PDF version also will not be sent, Lamai, because it's a fast track specified thing. But what you can do is you can make your own version for this plus your other 2 subjects as well. So what I have done over here is, Lama, I have broken the unit into smaller parts. Some of you would have got small versions of this earlier. So what you need to do is, Lama, every unit I have broken into small parts. And then time frame is starting from today for the next 5 months. Okay. So every time you study this part, you just put a click, you just put a tick. So ideally, until A-levels, at least you should have studied this 3 times. That's why there are 3 boxes next to it. For example, microeconomics and macroeconomics. That is something that will take you 2 minutes to study. So Taggala study that, put a tick. And maybe 2 months later, come and just recap that again. So at least for 3 times, if you have studied it, then that is fine. So keep on ticking. So I have given this plan in detail all the way unit number 1, unit number 2, unit number 3. It goes all the way down until unit number 11 and 12. Right? So until 11 and 12, the plan is there in detail. So that is all what you have to study. Then apart from that, Lamai, now this study plan, Lamai, is the ultimate checklist. I'm not giving it out for free, Lamai, because it is a paid class. This is the past paper checklist. This is, Lamai, not for you to write the answer down. This is to study that past paper. For example, 2011 question number 1. So 2011 question number 1, do that question, study that question. So objective is, if that question comes in your year, you have to get it right. Study the question. If you have studied it, put a tick. So you can't finish the study plan in a day. It's a 5-month plan, Lama. It's all what you have to do for the next 5 months. So 2011 all the way until 25, you have to study all the past papers, right? All the past paper questions you have to do. And then all the mock exams. So I will be doing 8 mock exams with y'all. If A-levels get postponed, I will do it even more. This plan is like this book here, this study plan thing that is there. Fast track people, you all will get this, right? So all the mock exams also, the tick is not to write the answer down, Lamai. It is for you to study that question, right? Study that question is what I want you to do. So you do the thing, you tick, right? You study the question, you tick. That is there, will get postponed, I don't think for now. And then same thing I have done with the essay question checklist as well. Essay question for question 9 and 10 A-level paper, you don't have to do it. So 2011 to 2025 plus all my overall mock exams. You study the essay question, you put a tick. And then there is the fast track unit-based papers. OM is overall mock exam. The papers that you all will be doing every Thursday. Every Thursday you have a paper to do. So when you do that, put a tick over there. If you have extra time, Lamai, do the all past papers. All past papers is 2000 to 2010. Right? For those who have done a lot of past papers, don't have anything else to do those. So then you put a tick if you have done those also. And then your fast track weekly checklist. Remember, I showed you a weekly. Week 1, you have to do these. Yes, Lama, this you all will get, Lama, with the fast track tute, another tute you all will get with all of this. So once that entire checklist is done, you can tick this. And we will do a MCQ program also. That's out of the fast track, but that is also there that you can tick. I think after doing all that, we'll have few seminars and all. Seminars are nothing to tick in this. But if you have done all of that, by the end of 5 months, your target has to be, you should be confidently be able to tick this big box. If you can tick that big box, I will guarantee you, you can only tick that big box if you have ticked all the others. If you can tick this big box at the end of 5 months, I will guarantee you, you will get that A. Minimum, you will get that A. I'm planning for you all to get that 90, 95. My guarantee is, if you properly do all that work I have told you, 5 months, that A there is guaranteed. The exam will be a walk in the park. That's the thing. I have also given you all, Lamai, a bit of the time tracker. There is a part here. You can get a photocopy of this if you all want, but only for 1 week I have put here. I haven't put it for 20 weeks. Then there is also, Nama, I have given a small overall plan for the other subjects because I don't have detailed info on to breaking it down, Lamai. But even for your other subjects, your business studies, if you have done all the units, you have 18 units, if I'm not mistaken, study those units at least thrice, done all the past papers, you can tick that. Same thing I have done for accounting. And then I have also given one for ICT. I only went with the commerce subjects Lama, because other subjects I don't know the content and that, right? So for accounts, BS and IT, I have given a small thing. And if you're done with that, is additional for your 3 subjects, but I'm hoping that your other teachers Lama, where you go for classes, they might give you a great detailed plan for that. So you get that done. The weekly plan Lama is also there. So for those who are in the fast track, you will get a printed version of this. For those who are not in the fast track Lama, you can make your own version of this and you can get it done, right? Right. So with that, I will call it off in terms of our planning session. Definitely, you can stay for questions if you all have. Based on the initial question I asked you, most of you all wanted to do the past papers next week. So then shall we do the past papers next week? Fine. Unit 2 and 3 will start next week. I can do if you all want to, but consumer sovereignty is what we can do. Right. So there is around 30% saying we can do this week, 70% saying we can do next week. Next week we'll see. If the Eid festival falls in, I'll give you a holiday, but I will have another cover-up class somewhere. Don't worry. Somehow before A levels in this 5 months, I will get this past papers done as well. Right. So with that, I will call it off. For those who have questions, please stay and clarify. Others, see y'all. Excited to see y'all on the fast track program. Others, whether you're in my fast track program or not, somehow get that. See you. Bye bye.